family. How you guys doing? Welcome to Phie.Love Intuitive Conversations. I hope you guys are well. If you like my content, please do like, share, and subscribe. And if you've got any hate or negativity, keep it on your side of the street, okay? It will not be acknowledged. So, I had a bit of a nap here in the garden. For some reason, when I have a nap in the garden, lots of stuff seems to happen inside of me. Just being connected with the earth and cleansing, letting go, being shown things, for what they are. So I woke up and I was told to come and do a video and touch a little bit on the topic of recognizing when you are perhaps operating out of your ego, and in many cases I think we've been so naturally programmed to function out of the space of our ego that we don't even know what it means to operate out of our ego. I mean, the way that stuff, or the way the ego or ego itself has always been portrayed to us in society and movies is someone of arrogance, someone who thinks that they're just a macho who is bigger and better than the rest around them, a Johnny Bravo, right? But in actual fact, you can be a simple, quiet person who also does operate out of your ego. And you can pick up these things, or when the ego is busy working its magic inside of you, and simple things like when you engage with people, what triggers you? When does your sense of entitlement start to show itself? Are there actions people around you can engage in that anger you, when really the action the next person is engaging in is part of their own free will and shouldn't anger you? But if you feel or believe that you are deserving out of the actions of someone else on the outside of you, and their actions or their lack thereof is able to upset you, rash you, make you respond in a way that is out of character, that angers you, that's part of operating out of your ego. Simple things like someone coming to you and approaching you about their feelings, and maybe how your actions might have affected them in a negative way, or someone responds to you in a way that points out that you might have been wrong in a situation, or you might have acted in a way that made somebody feel less than, or like they were not worthy after an engagement or interaction with you, or making a decision that somehow was against you in your perspective of things and triggered a certain action, response, thought, or some sort of stubbornness towards the situation, or even resistance. Those are things and ways that we can recognize if we're operating out of our ego, when we're faced with situations that are trying to make us respond in a way that we have not been trained to respond in. If you've been trained over your lifetime to respond in agitation, in anger, in resistance, in stubbornness, in making yourself a victim, in maybe not making it your first goal to try and see the other person's point of view and remove the illusion that you're operating in to protect yourself from feeling like, or thinking, or falling maybe into a perception inside that you could possibly have the lower hand in something that makes you feel like something might be taken away from you, or put you into a position of lack if you were to acknowledge or accept something. These are all little ways that we can, look at ourselves, be truthful, operate in our integrity, and recognize where ego might be playing a big role in our lives, and where maybe we have some own inner and personal shadow work to engage in to sort of smooth it out and see where we can find the most peaceful resolution within ourselves to a situation that will then also reflect in our outside surroundings and maybe with whoever we're dealing with. Feeling like you need to have a response for everything, or feeling like you need to have the last say, or not being able to sometimes just let certain things and situations be without it triggering some sort of adverse emotion inside of you. Yeah, family, like those are all things that we can try and be a little bit more aware about, and recognize that those are different ways that our ego is displaying and showing itself. And it's nothing that is only, isolated to men doing this and women doing that. No, it's something that each and every person on this earth surface has to work through, has to learn through, has to be able to look at themselves and accept that they have an ego, and the ego has naturally in our society been used against us and trained and made as the normal thing to operate out of, instead of peace, instead of being humble, instead of taking the other perspective into consideration, instead of working out of a space of patience and maybe seeing and waiting for something to just maybe unfold and see itself through. Another way we also are consistently always operating out of our ego is the consistent need to have to be in control of everything, not being able to trust a process. Okay, all of these things are ways that the ego takes over us, and we have been trained into thinking that we're right and we're entitled to be operating that way. And it's really hard, those are some of the biggest things that on this earth school that we need to learn and overcome in order to find a more peaceful way and resolution to our own lives, and how we work through it all and experience our moments, and the people around us. I personally believe that the journey with the ego is the lifelong thing in this physical world, and there's a reason why it is, so that we can continue learning and that we are able to recognize and work out past karmas, all kinds of things that trigger that thing inside us, and try and see the contrast and see if we're able to meditate, get ourselves grounded, and let go and move into a space of operating in a specific situation out of the portion of ourselves that is not the ego. Again, it's something to think about and to pay attention to what your own internal processes are and how you respond as an individual to people and your surroundings, and if you actually take any effort, any time to see that, you know, your ego might actually have become now a pretty shitty part of your personality, and it causes disharmony within you, it causes disharmony within other people around you, and they, you know, vice versa. And it also just messes with your ability to understand and see that a lot of the time we do have enough. We are not lacking, and we are not below or above somebody else. That is just the kind of perception that operating out of the ego and that the third dimensional world and system consistently try to keep us in, so that, you know, we stay in a place of lack, of disharmony, and not being able to see, recognize, or find our peace around us, and be able to work with spirit and the subtle things in life that actually do help us achieve and grow. Something so simple like patience has been erased from us completely, and instant gratification has been normalized and again tied into our egos, and not just in how we acquire material things, but also how we handle each other and ourselves in relationships. So yeah, I think for now and for today, that's all I'd really like to speak on regarding ego. And I definitely will speak on it again at some point, go more into depth on certain aspects of it, that we can look further into ourselves. But for now, I think just the recognition and becoming more aware of when you're operating in your ego, you know, if you're aware and you respond at some point out of ego and you realize, hey, you know what, that was a little egotistical of me, or that was a little entitled from me, or that was me operating with someone else out of a place because I think that I deserve them to treat me a certain way. Just those little acknowledgements are already really big steps forward on, you know, releasing and letting go, and trying to do something different, and be a more natural version of yourself, and not the version that's always so triggered and on a me vibration, and thinking that someone out there is operating in a way to try and take something away from me, on a mental level, on a physical level, on a spiritual level, whatever it is. From a value perspective, I mean personal value perspective, it makes us defensive on such a subconscious level that we don't even realize. But everything has to start somewhere, right? So I'm gonna pull one card again and see what comes out to help us in this conversation, or whoever else might need a nudge. Okay, so what's come out over here is from Paul the Venetian. Okay, and it says artistic expression. That's the Ascendant Master. Okay, let's see what the book has to say on what we've just spoken about, on artistic expression. Again, once we start also dropping our ego in certain areas, we become more creative, you know, we become more open and receiving to creativity and how we can express ourselves, and not really worry about how our ego will be affected by the outside world. Because also being in creative energy requires you to drop an ego and let go, and, you know, allow things to unfold within you that you can then also, you know, reflect and express in your physical. And that goes down to even creating a business, something that is outside of the ordinary. So the book says, this card signals that your artistic talents are in need of creative expression. You have hidden talents that lie dormant. This trapped energy can make you feel tired, restless, and anxious, and can lead to addictions if the energy isn't expressed. Even if your artistic abilities feel unpolished, they need an outlet. Make the time today to draw, paint, sing, play music, write, take photographs, make jewelry, sew, dance, or do something artistic and creative. You may find the key to your life's purpose and ideal career through this process. I think that was beautiful. Additional meanings to this card: take a class to learn a new artistic skill. One of your loved ones is an artist. Express your true feelings. Your life's purpose involves an artistic endeavor such as writing or playing music. And yes, writing is a very creative thing, especially when you go into automatic writing. I think writing is also a very beautiful way to heal and, offload and just be one with yourself. No one judges you when you're writing, right? It's just you and the pen, and if there is any judgment that you feel when you're writing, best believe that's a good indication that you are the one who is judging yourself. So that's again another form of shadow work and inner work. Family, I really hope that this video has helped and gotten people thinking a little bit, and more and maybe more try to be more aware of where they're operating out of their ego in situations. It's not something that changes overnight, and awareness is the first step, okay, to make a change. So I love you all so much, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.